What up, what up, what up, what up, YouTube?
Hey guys.
Welcome to the first episode of Just Dropping In, a new show where we're just going to be dropping in on some interviews and podcasts on the bigger platforms already out there and kind of just holding a flame to them, holding a candle to these big, really influential platforms because this transition that we're in, like cable's no more. You know what I'm saying? Like, but cable had regulations. You know what I mean? And cable had some sort of policing within what's going on. So this show is kind of gonna act like one of those, just kind of fact checking a little bit, you know what I'm saying? Maybe going back doing some research on some things that get said and really digging in so we can expose any people that are biased and claim that they aren't, or kind of let you know where these biases may lie in the media that we're consuming. And I kind of consume a pretty wide variety of media. She does as well. So, with what we consume and commentate on, I feel like we'll be able to give y'all a good overview of what be going on. So without further ado, let's get into it.
Bureaucracy that exists in the federal government that slows things down, but essentially to bring down how weed is classified, how marijuana is classified,
Whoa.
to make it.
I didn't know we were talking. We just dropped in. I didn't know we were talking about weed. Hold on. Let's back up. We just dropped in, y'all. We just dropped in.
And my pledge is, as president, I will work on decriminalizing it because I know exactly how those laws have been used.
And one of the biggest pieces of misinformation, one of the biggest allegations against you is that you targeted and locked up thousands of black men in San Francisco for weed. Some say you did it to boost your career. Some say you did it out of pure hate for black men. Please tell us the facts. What's the facts of that situation?
It's just simply not true. And what public defenders who are around those days will tell you, I was the most progressive prosecutor in California on marijuana cases and would not send people to jail for simple possession of weed. And as vice president, have been a champion for bringing...
Well, let's just see. The world claimed something. She claimed against it. Let's just do a little bit of research and find out. Let's see if she's ever sent anybody to jail for petty weed crimes. Has Kamala... Let's see. It's everything's so political. I'm just trying to find the straight up record on crime. Nope, this is a Kamala Harris website. Jesus Christ. Let's see. No, shit. What? Get off my screen.
You're struggling.
Jesus Christ. I don't want to go to the NBC because I'm trying to find unbiased for y'all so we can actually, like, you feel me, like, get into it. Okay. This seems to be a more just straight up weed based site, so let's see what they got to say. Going out by president claiming that she puts thousands of Trump's line of attack misleading is nonetheless notable in the sense that 20 Republican president nominee is implying that he disagrees. She was a bad prosecutor. She was bad, blah 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 blah. I wanted them to talk about the record. I don't care what they said. We know what they said already. Okay, there we go. While okay, so it's because of San Francisco District Attorney's Office under her leadership incarcerated more than 1,500 people on cannabis-related convictions. That lower figure is still misleading. Data from the office that was featured on investigative report. There were 1,900 convictions for misdemeanor felony. In 2014, Harris led the office with none people who were actually sent to prison was 45. that was said. It's unclear how many people were sent to the county. Well, we'll see. Not many. We see that. Okay, so, okay, I get the gist of it then. So, at this data point here is pointing out the fact that only 45 people were actually sent to state prison, but it's unclear how many people were sent to county jail. Well, FYI, if it's a petty weed crime, you're gonna go to county jail, not state prison. So, so it seems like she actually does have a touchy record with sending people to jail, not prison, jail for weed crimes. Because I mean, like, 1,900 convictions is 1,900 convictions. That's 1,900, records. You know what I mean? So, out of how many people of those didn't have a record before this? I don't know. Probably a pretty fair amount, I'd suggest, because they're, misdemeanor charges. But, so she said it's untrue, but it's true actually. she did send. Now hold on. Actually, I don't know how many of those people were black though. You know what I mean? Granted, just based on incarceration rates, we could probably guesstimate that more than 2/3 of that number was most likely black. And if y'all want to fact check me, I'm not gonna go that deep. Y'all want to fact check me on it? Go ahead and do it in the comments. But I highly doubt I'm wrong on that one. I've done a whole lot of prison research. So if she locked up 1,900 people, then I'm willing to bet like at least 1,100 were probably a person of color. So yeah, she be locking up people for weed crimes. That seems to be a fact. So we can go ahead and dispel this. She's
marijuana down on the schedule, so instead of it being ranked up there with heroin, we bring it down. And my pledge is, as president, I will rank up
she's
there.
not even
have
talking
been
about
a champion for bringing possession.
Like go
I
to
was
the
not
actual
true.
question
And
being asked.
what public defenders who are around those days will tell you, I was the most progressive prosecutor in California on marijuana cases, and would not send people to jail for simple possession of weed. And as
that's a lie.
vice president, have been a champion for bringing marijuana down on the schedule. So instead of it being ranked up there with heroin, we bring it down. And my pledge is, as president, I will work on decriminalizing it, because I know exactly how those laws have been used to disproportionately impact certain populations, and specifically black men.
Mm-hmm. Before we get into the talkback feature and take some questions from
bold-faced lie. At least we know bare minimum at least 45 for weed to prison, and then like an unclear amount ranging from 0 to 1,900 for misdemeanor to jail. So that number's there. Look, if I'm wrong in anything I've said so far, let me know in the comments, and I'll correct myself if I am wrong.
From the audience, I do want to talk to you about the legalization of weed, because you're saying you want to legalize it now. What steps did the Biden administration take to get closer to that reality?
So we had to work with the DEA, and there's a certain level of bureaucracy that exists in the federal government that slows things down. But essentially, to bring down how weed is classified, how marijuana is classified, to make it classified as a lesser harm. Mm-hmm. And so that took some time. There's a whole process around that. But that's the work that we have done, in addition to work that we have done writ large on criminal justice reform.
Okay. Let's take some calls.
Man, she's good at dodging questions. Hold on, run that back. She's good at dodging questions. I damn near forgot the question he asked her. Hold on, bro.
She said it had to work with the DEA, then that's really all.
I'm saying, it's like she just described how they brought it down on the schedule, which she had already said when he asked the question.
And there's a certain level.
Now, some questions from the audience. I do want to talk to you about the legalization of weed, because you're saying you want to legalize it now. What steps did the Biden administration take to get closer to that reality?
So We had to work with the DEA, and there's a certain level of
'Cause federally, it
bureaucracy
hasn't
that exists
changed.
in the federal government that slows things down. But essentially, to bring down how weed is classified, how marijuana is classified, to make it classified as a lesser harm. And so that took some time. There's a whole process around that, but that's the work that we have done. In addition to work.
Hold on. Let me just make sure I'm not tripping. Is weed still? Cause I could be wrong. I want to know if I'm wrong. Yeah, marijuana is a Schedule 1 substance under the Controlled Substance Act. Yeah, so if it's still a Schedule 1, she hasn't done what she just said she did. Right? Right? Am I tweaking? Right? AP News says the U.S. is poised to ease restrictions on a historic shift, but it'll remain a controlled substance. So, yeah. Yeah. No, so her answer should have been, we've tried, but, like, you know, we're just waiting. You know what I mean? Which would have been an honest answer, but that's not what she said. She said we did it, and that's not true. Still a controlled substance federally. But, you know, I mean, you tried. You did. She is trying. It ain't no lie. She is trying to bring it down from it being a controlled substance status, Schedule 1, but, you know, it just hasn't happened to this point. So,
work that we have done writ large on criminal justice reform.
Okay. Let's take some calls. Let's take some, well, not calls. Let's go to the talkback feature.
My question for Kamala is, why are we, and I say we because my tax dollars is sending the money, why are we sending money to other countries when we desperately need it in our own country for homeless, housing, resources, for whatever? That is my determining factor if I vote for Kamala or not.
That's one of the reasons the America First rhetoric resonates, because nobody in America would complain about where money was going if American citizens' everyday needs were being met. So what do you say to that?
We can do it all, and we do. So, first of all, I maintain very strongly that America.
Every woman, it's all in me. What?
I don't think that's how she should have answered that shit.
Anything
We can do
you
it
want
all,
done,
we
baby. I'm weak.
Ain't no way.
Okay, expand on it. Oh,
You dropping shit?
that's fine. It was just the headphones. Let's see her expand on it.
Pull ourselves away from our responsibility as a world leader. And that is in the best interest of our national security and each one of us as Americans and our standing in the world. That being said, we also have an obligation to American citizens, obviously, and people who...
See, you know why I have a problem with that? With that being said, we also... With that being said, we also... With that being said, we also... I thought Americans came first. I thought Americans came first, chat. I think we should think about Americans first, and then worry about, you know, what we look like on the world stage. Just my 2 cents. I mean, but I feel like the pure rhetoric of saying the whole world stage, all that, before referring to Americans is crazy work by the, you know, candidate to be president.
I'm still stuck on we can do it all and we do.
We
I don't see it.
We can
all.
do it all and we do.
I'm so
Where?
confused.
Where?
Where's all of it?
Where's it
This
all
is all
at?
of it?
This
This
is
is
it? Like, Jesus.
What?
Oh, man. Whew.
Ain't no way.
Ain't no way.
to meet their everyday needs and challenges, which is why, for example, we have done the work in the last 4 years of bringing down the cost of prescription medication, whether it be $35 a month for seniors for insulin or $2,000 a year cap on prescription medication. What we have done that has been about putting $17 billion in our HBCUs. I am proud to be the first HBCU vice president of the United States. I intend to be the first HBCU president of the United States. Those resources are about sending them to centers of academic excellence that I know them to be. The work that I continue to do is about increasing access to capital for our small businesses. It is about increasing the opportunity for home ownership, knowing that Black people are 40% less likely to be homeowners in America. We have a history of legal and procedural obstacles to that home ownership, starting with the fact nobody got 40 acres and a mule, to redlining,
Isn't this the worst time to buy a house, though?
This is the worst time. This is probably the worst possible time ever to buy a house. Look at her up there telling y'all to buy a goddamn house.
Don't buy a house.
Don't buy a house right now. Listen, hey, take it from me. Trader, investor, economist, financial behavioral specialist. I've been doing this for a decade, and I am about to go rent a big ass house. You know what I'm saying? I'm not about to. I'm not buying a crib yet. I'm gonna reevaluate in about 5-ish years, and we'll see what the market's feeling like. I'm thinking probably 7-ish, where I'll probably honestly be looking to really go ahead and buy something. But right now is not a good time to buy a house. So, yeah. She's right in the fact that like we haven't had crazy opportunity to do so, but like egging you to do it right now, giving you incentive to do it right now that's power structure move. That's power structure move right there. Understand that rhetoric right there. That's power structure move, okay?
issues that this Detroit area and people around the country know to be real. So part of my plan is that we're going to give people a $25,000 down payment assistance to get their foot in the door to buy a home for first-time home buyers. The work that I'm going to do to
I'd love
$25,000. People to do it.
I'd love $25,000, and I know a lot of other people would too. But where is this gonna come from? Like, our government's broke. Our government's less than broke. Our government's in debt.
Huge debt. A lot.
So if, like, rationally, you'd have to imagine it's probably gonna come out of some type of tax because that's their revenue. So I'm gonna pay for me to get $25,000. I'd rather just make my $25,000 and do what I got to do. And granted, I know that might sound a little beyond comprehension to some, small business entrepreneurs out there, but like, just the government handing out free money is just like, it's okay in small little like increments here and there over time, but like what we've been getting for free from the government is just kind of like insane because we ain't got it, we're borrowing it and we're paying it back with borrowed money. So every time we pay it back, we're just borrowing more money. You know what I mean? So it's a bad cycle, and we got to start detaching from it as Americans and just kind of like, you know what I'm saying, take the lick, act broke for a little while, and run it up. You know what I mean? Like,
increase housing supply in America, knowing that that's one of the reasons that rents and housing prices are jacked up, and to work with the private sector, cut through the red tape, and work to build more housing, 3 million before the end of my first term. And I give these examples, and there are many more which I will offer. So, for example, the work that I will do to extend the child tax credit to $6,000 for young families during the first year of their child's life. Because as you and I both know, our families all have a natural desire to parent their children well, but not always.
For the people out there that don't know what a tax credit is, it means like after you go through that year, then you can claim up to $6,000 of those expenses, write them off, and then you'll get a fatter return when you get that return. She's not talking about a stimulus check. I know, like, on Twitter, there are people thinking that she's talking about giving out $6,000. No, we don't want no more stimulus checks. We don't want no more stimulus checks. We cool on stimulus checks. Stop asking for stimulus checks, America. Inflation bad. Stimulus checks equal inflation. So, but
resources.
Mm-hmm.
So by expanding the child tax credit to the first year of a child's life to $6,000, that gives that young family the ability to buy a car seat or a crib or clothes, the things that are so important during that critical phase of that child's development, so that they can get on the road and actually have a chance at succeeding.
You know, you said we can do it all, but can we? Because, you know, Tupac famously said, but can we feed the poor, right? And I saw President Obama say last week that, you know, you really shouldn't expect, you know, a president to rid the world of all of its problems. And so is it fair to tell people, hey, we can do it all? Because that's when people get disappointed, when things don't happen.
But I think President Obama is absolutely correct, but it doesn't mean we can't do anything.
That's right.
So when I talk about extending the child tax credit...
So she's already retracted on her old statement. She's already said, you know what, you're right, but we can do something. You know what I mean? Like, she didn't even stand 10 toes on her own words from 5 minutes ago, nigga. Like, yeah, you couldn't even stand 10 toes. He gave her one quote from Obama, which is her big dog. She was like, oh yeah, but like we can do something, you know what I mean? Like, because she's not about to argue with him over what Obama said. You dig what I'm saying? She's not gonna step on Obama's toes. Obama still runs shit right now. As far
Our
as
candidates are so funny.
bro, what this is a comedy show. Bro.
Oh my gosh.
Really, real life, actual comedy in this mug, yo.
Oh my.
When I was vice president, I pushed that we would do it during our first year. And we reduced black child poverty in America by 50%. We did that. Mm-hmm. We can do that. My plan that is about
50%? Like you reduced all of the, like all in America, all of the black child poverty by 50%. So you mean, I don't even know if she knows what that means. I don't even know if she understands what that means. In essence, I mean, like, granted, you could probably spin it because it's kind of a vague statement. But in essence, she's saying that, like, black children started doing 50% better. Have you seen these schools? Have you seen these children? Have you seen these children? Oh no. Oh no.
I think teachers would disagree.
I feel like teachers would disagree. I've heard
teachers disagree.
If you're a teacher, get in the comments and let me know if you disagree or not. I mean, I genuinely want to know, because I feel like that's a heavy, I feel like it's a way heavier statement than she understands it to be. You know what I mean? Because like, 50% better? Like, that's a really big increase in productivity, shorty. And that I feel like would be a little more noticeable. But if I'm wrong, let me know. If there's some stats out there that makes me wrong on my statements, let me know.
Building up home ownership in the black community. We can do that. My work that has been about increasing access to capital, bringing billions more dollars into our community banks, which I've done as vice president, through cooperation and partnership with some of the big banks and tech companies, to get more access to capital for our entrepreneurs, for our businesses. We've done that. So we should never sit back and say, okay, I'm not going to vote because everything hasn't been solved. I share a desire that everything should be solved, by the way. Mm-hmm. I think it is what we should all want. But that shouldn't stand in the way of us also knowing we can participate in a process that's about improving things. And by voting in this election, you have two choices, or you don't vote, but you have two choices if you do. And it's two very different visions for our nation. One mind that is about taking us forward and progress and investing in the American people, investing in their ambitions, dealing with their challenges. And the other, Donald Trump, is about taking us backward.
The other is about fascism. Why can't we just...
All right, we're going to stop it there because I don't want to get too we're gonna drop out around this here, but I wanted to say like I I wish Charlemagne was asking better questions. No interviewer asks these candidates good enough questions, and it's because they have to get all their questions approved, and the good questions don't get approved, and that's what the problem is with our media. If I blow up and I become like this becomes like one of the biggest shows like period.
Ask whatever the fuck you want.
Dog, Kamala no candidate can come anywhere near this show if I can't ask you whatever I want, because one of my first questions is explain them extra couple of $1 trillion y'all spent. Explain it. Explain it right now. Because
what are you talking about?
this administration has spent more money than any administration ever. You dig what I'm saying? And things are a little more uncertain, unstable than ever. So it's probably some type of correlation. Yeah, these type of questions will be coming towards her. And granted, the president should be able to answer these questions because their policies should influence it. But the Federal Reserve just does what they want to do, and that's essentially why they can't really ask her no questions like that, because she can't answer no questions like that. None of our presidents could really, truly, fully understand or comprehend those questions to actually answer them. You dig what I'm saying? And that's one of the biggest problems with the system today is like, well, we spend all this time thinking about this while they're doing that over there. You know what I mean? And then we're wondering why we keep asking this person to help us. Well, this person's making all the decisions. You dig what I'm saying? And it's the Federal Reserve is really in control of our economy. So let's just stop asking the president economic questions, because they don't have no control, for real, for real. Like, it really boils down to how the Fed feels, my nigga. Like genuinely, they really run the money around the world. So just to give y'all some full context, and these are the kind of videos we're gonna be doing for this show here, just dropping in. We'll be just dropping in on some of these interviews and podcasts where people are talking and discoursing, and I'm gonna peel back some layers. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna get to the raw and the truth about it. All right, love y'all. Make sure you're kind to somebody today. Hit that like button, hit that sub button. And if you have something you want us to drop in on specifically, okay, now I want to hear what they got to say about this, let me know in the comments, because we gonna get to it, and you feel me, we gonna peel them layers back. All right, one more time, don't forget to hit that like button and the sub button, and hit the like button again. Actually unlike it and then like it again. You know what I'm saying? tell the algorithm it's really hard. You understand what I'm saying? All right, I love y'all. Make sure you're kind to somebody today. I'm gonna catch y'all on the next one.
Bye, guys.